Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and we are going to have fun today. Hello, Ms. Astrology. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm not sure what's going on in the world and how astrology is affecting us, but we're going to find out
Let's
some
talk
things.
about
I
it.
don't think we talked about this before in terms of this new moon.
Yeah, usually I come right before the next zodiac sign to
Uh
give
huh.
insight into the next season, but I actually think this is perfect because for me, this is the most powerful new moon of the year. So I'm excited to give you guys some insight into
Okay.
it.
All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Good
Cool.
stuff.
Very good. Very
And are
good.
you going to tell us if Mercury's in retrograde?
Yes, I'm gonna talk about all that. Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep.
All
Yep.
right. All
It's
right.
good. It's gonna get good.
Yolanda's been mentioning that this week, and the
Yes.
youngins have loved the references.
They think you're cool when you say
Okay.
that.
Welcome, Yolanda Starks White. How are you?
Welcome, Sybil. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Friday Eve, all is well. All
Today
is
is
well again.
Thursday, sweetheart.
Yeah, Friday
Friday
Eve.
Eve.
Oh, Friday Eve. I
Eve.
thought you said Friday evening.
Oh, no, no, no. Friday Eve. Sort of like Christmas Eve, just like
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Never heard that before.
you never listened to the audio for our newsletter then, because I had to stop
No,
saying
I
it because
don't listen to the
I was,
audio
I was,
because
I
I
was taking up
read.
too much time. I was told that I add too many words to the script, so I had to take out some of my little just things bon mot that I throw out there. So I should mention that Aprylete has a previous engagement, so she's not able to join us today. But we are glad that Ms. Astrology is. And next week, we'll have a special show on peripheral artery disease, along with our friends at the American Heart Association, talking about PAD, what it is, what it looks like, and how it could affect you. And of course, we're number one. It sadly does affect more of us than not. So we're twice as likely, Black folks are twice as likely to get PAD, and especially if you have high blood pressure, you have diabetes, you're a smoker, yada, yada, yada. Those things are also in effect. Having to do with the blood vessels coming from your heart to the rest of your body. So,
No,
if you
I'm
have
looking. I'm looking forward to learning more about that. Why we never heard of that before? Have you heard of that before, Miss Astrology?
No, but when I was reading about it, I was like, I think a lot of us probably deal with this more
Right.
than what we realize.
Right.
right,
I was, yeah,
It
kind of
was
reading about it and how it can even cause pain
right.
in your arteries. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So,
Is it new? Is this a new
I don't,
disease?
I don't, I don't think it's new. I mean, that's something else we'll find out too, how new it is, but or how long it's been around or been identified as such. But it is something that, and it's really interesting how they figure it out. Like you go to a vascular doctor, somebody checks out your veins, and they take like the blood pressure in your ankles to
mhm.
see how the blood is flowing and if that is a part of the issue with PAD or peripheral artery disease. Yeah, it's really interesting. So, just doing a little reading in advance of that. So, I hope that you will join us. But in the meantime, sit back and relax. We're going to talk with Ms. Astrology and talk a little bit of news with the What You Need to Know newsletter. Ms. Astrology, your article will be in tomorrow's newsletter as we kick off the full moon that starts, I guess, tonight.
New
And
moon.
I'm sorry, the new moon that kicks off tonight.
Right.
And so it'll be in tomorrow's newsletter. The What You Need to Know newsletter is our effort to super serve the African American community with the stories for and about Black people. Some of the stories you go, is that really for us? But most general news is for us, and it does enhance our conversation and our ability to talk about the issues with others. And we also have young people who are contributors in their areas of interest or expertise. Aprylette Russell is our mental health and wellness contributor. Also, Quinn Townsend Riley is our LGBTQ plus contributor. Uh, there is social justice with Coy Malone, and then of course Cameron Riley also joins me in the political realm. So there's a lot going on. They're really fine young people with great spirits and talents to talk about these stories that sometimes we don't get around to talking about enough. But we put them on the front page, and they get to talk about things that they really enjoy and that are near and dear to their hearts. So let's talk a little bit about Aprylete. She talks about the actress Taraji P. Henson prioritizing mental health care for Black women on the campuses of HBCUs. This is really quite something. This is a part of her foundation that is named in honor of her father, as well as working with a fashion house and getting information about and getting pods, getting areas in our HBCUs where young Black women can go, where they can meet and talk about their issues, and perhaps if get some not only some therapy, but also if it's not available there, where they can go and get therapy. And I just think that's really interesting. And she knows where she speaks. If you've seen her on social media, this is her number one issue these days. Taraji P. Henson, and who was recently the birthday girl, I believe. And but she also knows about it from another perspective, her father, and that is for whom she named the foundation. So take a look at that. I think it's obviously it's a subject that we should be talking about with our young people, and especially those that are going to college for the first time, or maybe coming from a situation that they encountered over the summer. But it's something that we need to talk about, absolutely, and not just for. Certainly, we need this for our young Black men, but our young Black women as well. If this had been available to you, Yolanda, when you were stepping out of your spades games, and maybe or maybe not going to class, do you think that you would have taken the initiative to attend those pods and to get some help if you felt you needed it? Not, you know what? I think I know the answer to this question.
What's the answer?
No, because that's not who you were at the time.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So that's true. But I wish, well, well, to my defense, back in the day,
Right.
it just wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a
Hmm.
mhm.
And but Sybil, we were talking about this earlier. It wasn't a thing, but we were okay. Were we okay?
Well,
I
that's
don't know.
we thought we were okay.
Right.
In comparison to what though? Like, where's the parameter of okay?
Yeah, here's
You know
okay. What is
I
what does
can
that
tell
mean?
you, when I was in college, oh my God. Yes, I can tell you I was okay. Oh my God.
You were the ish when you
I
were
went
in
to
college.
no, no, no. I went to U of H and it was just fun. And I didn't have all of the nonsense that I have now. I didn't have any responsibilities, and I knew my future was bright, and I wasn't sensitive. I was like, I was reckless and foolish, and I liked
and
I liked it.
as my mom used to say, that's 4 years of subsidized irresponsibility.
yeah.
I did not have fun in college. I
You
was
did.
there. No,
Did
no.
you have but because you were studying? See, I had fun
Right.
because I wasn't studying. But did you have problems? So even though you didn't have fun, did you have problems?
I didn't have problems, but I didn't have fun.
Okay.
I think that's I didn't have to worry about coming up with the money for my books. I didn't have to come worry about all of those things. But I knew and I knew that I had a safety net. As they say. So I was good there because of my mom. But I knew that I had to get in and get out. There was no lollygagging. There was no muddling around. There was
Right.
none of that. It was like you're here to work and let's just get her done.
And sometimes that's okay. I mean, but today it seems like young people, they just have so much on them. It's just they're Miss Astrology, you have children.
Mhm.
Are they more heavy than you were when you were their age? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yes. Now my oldest, yes, but my youngest, not so much. But it's because she doesn't care. Like she just doesn't care. Like she's just like. But I will say that she has a lot of Aquarius placements. So if it doesn't make sense, she doesn't care. Like she's not an emotional child. But my oldest, but she's right at that brink of not knowing social media to fully being exposed to social media, from going to being innocent and playing outside to going to like being everything is on display. She's almost 30.
Okay.
So she's older. So that's for her, she's heavier. But my youngest one, but I also think I'm a different parent with my youngest one because I was really young with my oldest. And so this one, I'm a very different parent. And I talk very logically to her.
And how old is she?
She's 15.
Okay.
And so we're able to be like, that's fake. That's filters. That's, this guy exposed the truth to where
So let me ask you this. If she was at a party and a boy or girl, whomever, was trying to holler and they called her a bitch, would she be hurt?
No. She wouldn't. I don't think she would. It's funny because I just picked her up from school today and she was talking about her and her best friend had this big fight. And she goes, in 2 days, she's going to be over it. But why do I have to deal with her having this attitude for 2 days? Like, oh my God. Like she just was like, what's for dinner?
That's cool. Okay.
So, but that's just her. But again, I'm a very different parent than I was then. And I'm kind of in that middle also because I'm not that old to where I'm able to be like, yeah, but those are filters. Yeah, those are this. So I think that in the same to where when you were in college, we just didn't know. We're just like, it's like you didn't know all of that was going on. I'm able to be more like, yeah, we know that's going on, but we also know there's filters.
So you don't have to always ask her, well, how do you feel? How does that make you feel?
And, oh my God, she would be like, feel, Yolanda, you and this kid could relate deeply. Because she's like, what do you mean? How do I feel? Why would I feel anything? It doesn't make it like she's very feelings.
Oh my goodness.
That's
so how does she fit in with her peers? Because she seems like an outlier. Who is this child?
She is an outlier and she's completely okay with it. But her mom's an astrologer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So she's just like, I think I'm supposed to be an outlier. Like she's okay with it. But I've embraced it at this point. But she's also that generation that was born after 2008. They're very different. They're that Pluto and Aquarius generation. They're very different than the ones before them. So they're the ones that 15 to even now, they question a lot of things. They push back on a lot of things. They challenge you. They don't just go with everything like the generations before.
Nice. Okay.
I think they're the future.
The children of 2008. What about those born around 99? They're not a part of that because
they're the ones that are getting caught in the middle to, I want to stay true to, what we know, but I also want to be a part of this social media followers like. So they're the ones that are kind of caught in the middle and they're not yet ready to make that change. Like my daughter's like, why would I wear that? It's not comfortable. Like the stuff she wears.
So she's not everybody's doing it.
No, not at all. She's like, it's not comfortable. I'm not wearing this. She shops at Goodwill. She asked me for her allowance money so she can go shop at Goodwill.
I love that.
I hate that.
I know. I love it. I absolutely love it because it shows an individuality,
right?
But she's not, taking away from what is still good and using and repurposing it.
Right.
Yeah, I believe in that.
She is a really cool kid, but it's even difficult. It's a little difficult for me to be like, so you're gonna wear the Crocs again? Hey, dinner. She's like, you're comfortable.
So what is she like? What area is she moving towards in life?
She wants to be a forensic scientist. She knows exactly what she wants to do. She wants to go to Sam Houston State. She's an athletic trainer. She's going to take her scholarship there, and she wants to work in forensic science. She wants to work with the coroner and the police at the same time to solve crimes.
Wow.
Very, very smart kid. She knows exactly what she wants to do.
So she's a CSI kind of girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Criminal Minds is one of her favorite shows.
Yeah.
I'm like this the whole time. Oh my God.
Does she watch TV?
Yeah, she'll watch stuff like that. She'll either watch like Criminal Minds Or she's a critic. She will watch a cooking show in a heartbeat.
Oh.
We take her out to fancy restaurants. She's like, it's a little underwhelming.
Okay,
$80 steak.
Sybil,
Yeah,
can we have, what's her name?
Olivia.
Can we have Olivia on the show one day? I would love to meet her.
Yeah, she's a
The,
cool kid.
the world should know Olivia.
She's a cool kid. I don't know how she feel about the world knowing her, but she's a really
Well, we
cool
have an Olivia on staff who's pretty cool too. So I don't know if it's the name or the generation or what.
And
But
Olivia really is like that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good kids. She's a good
no,
kid.
what I would love for her to come on if she feels comfortable. That would be fun,
Yeah.
and to see you two in contact like that. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
she might if we're together, not by herself. She definitely, yeah. But
Right.
I'm telling you, I'm not the easiest mom, and I kind of push my kids out of the nest. Like, you're gonna go. Dude, when my oldest went to go live in South Africa for 3 months, and I remember she called me when she first got there and was having a hard time with something, and I was like, I'm a whole different time zone away. I can't help figure it out. And she literally called me back like a month later, like that was traumatic. But, oh my God. She still brings it up. I'm like, it's midnight here. Bye.
The fact that she was able to go to South Africa,
For 3
that
months.
says a lot in
loved
itself.
Yeah, and I was like, you'll be fine.
And she was
really
fine.
good kid. She's such a good kid.
Wow.
Wow.
Good for
Yeah.
you. Good. And would Olivia do that? Would she go and live in South Africa or foreign
Absolutely.
country? Yeah.
Absolutely. She definitely would.
That is
And I
so
would not
cool.
worry about her at all. Now, my sons, on the other hand, I'd give them air tags. I would definitely keep tabs on them boys. That's their heart.
Oh my God.
I'm being serious.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Let me move back to the newsletter just a little bit, just to fill people in. We were talking about the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. That's Taraji's foundation, named after her father, who did suffer from mental illness, along with Kate Spade, the fashion house. And Kate Spade is a designer who killed herself a few years ago. And so they have launched this mental health initiative. So take a look at that story in the What You Need to Know newsletter. Our newsletter is free. We'd love to have you subscribe. Please go to SybilWilkes.com, give us your name and your email address, and you'll get great stories like the new moon that Ms. Astrology will be telling us about, as well as social justice. Coy talks about a Texas student who was suspended about his hairstyle just days after the Crown Act went into effect in the state of Texas.
Right.
They said it had more to do with the length of his hair, not the style. But tomato, tomato. This young man, Daryl George Jr. at the Barbers Hill High School in Mount Bellevue, was placed on in-school suspension for wearing his locked hair in a ponytail. And so check that out. And please remember Tyree Nichols. I always like to mention these young people who were unjustly killed. And this was one of the most horrific when he was killed by 5 Black men. And not only just 5 Black men, 5 former police officers in Memphis, Tennessee, pulled him over for what they said was driving recklessly. And what they ended up doing was killing him within an inch of his life, putting him in the hospital. He died 3 days later. And he was 28 years old. And now they
tried to cover it up as well.
Right. And there was a lot of cover up. And they now have been charged federally with denying him his civil rights. And his family is already taking them to court, taking the city and these policemen to court for millions of dollars. But this is really important. So please take a look at that. And we would just love to have you subscribe. But when you do subscribe, please open your newsletter. We would also appreciate that. All right. So let's move on to what's really going on. And yes, it is that time. What's really going on is there's a new moon. What
Yeah.
that means?
What that mean? First, I want to say hi to everyone in the comments. Everybody that knows me knows I'm a comments girl. So if you
Oh
leave,
yes.
I definitely read them. I comment on people's posts more than I post. So I do. I read. My sister makes fun of me. She's like, "You in them comments, ain't you?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." Or as Yolanda would probably call me, I'm nosy.
I wouldn't say that.
Observant.
I
And
would
then
She said
Yolanda's
she
so
never.
optimistic. She was like, I would call
She
it
would say, "Oh,
observant.
she's very curious," but I don't think
She's observant. She definitely is. So hi to everyone in the comments, including my best friend is in there as well.
Oh,
So
that's
yes, so the new moon is when, so this is how I like to, like on a very practical term, the moon takes a trip every single month through the entire zodiac. So the sun does it once a year, your birthday, the moon does it every single month. So when it's a new moon, it's essentially her coming back home. She's been on this trip, now she's back home and she's ready to set off for on what this new journey is going to be based on where home is now. So it's like the next month's theme for the new moon is going to be based on where she returned. Return meaning she joined the sun. So the sun and the moon are both at 21 degrees of Virgo tonight. So she's basically like, I'm home. Let me unpack my bags. Let me wash my clothes. Let me do all these things and get ready for this new journey, which is going to be taking off in the theme of Virgo. Virgo is very much about details, analyzing, having a plan, moving forward in motion. And because it's the sign that takes us from summer to fall, it's about leaving behind kind of the habits we picked up over the summer that we know we can't take into the fall. So like, for instance, for me, it's like that staying up late and sleeping in later because the kids didn't have to get up so early. I'm like, now I got to get up early. Now I got to have this more of a routine, a ritual, different kind of habits that we're getting back into. And now Mercury is also going back direct. It's been retrograde. We've been reviewing, rethinking, reorganizing, piddling. Remember, that's what we were saying was the theme last month, just kind of piddle around the house and get things taken care of. And so now that we kind of got that done, now we're ready to move forward with the plan because we see where we're going now and what we actually want and how it's actually obtainable. So it's like, it's time to go. But I will say this, it's not going to be as easy as we expect it to be. Oh, I didn't clean everything out. Well, because there's other planets involved.
we want it. We need
it now. We're ready. I didn't clean out my closet. I'm ready for new stuff now. And it's
right.
Like, not yet. You're not ready, quite ready yet. So you are, but it's just going to take a little bit more effort than what we're expecting. And it's not like some of us are expecting, oh, starting next week, I'm going to be making phone calls, doing this ritual. I'm going to lose 5 pounds by the end of the week, or I'm going to do that. No, you're probably not. As a matter of fact, you might gain an extra pound, but then a couple weeks later, you might lose 7 pounds, something like that. So it's really about, because Saturn is included opposite and Uranus and some other planets. So it's really about, it's going to happen, just not that I believe it should happen this fast. I believe it should be this easy. I believe that I've been manifesting. Yeah, well, we all know that faith without works is dead. So you can believe all you want, but if you're not implementing the plan, it's not going to happen. And if you're implementing the plan without believing that you can have it, it's not going to happen. Well, I'm going to just do it. I hope it happened. Let's see what happened. It's still not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Wow. And how does this affect each of us in our different signs?
Right. So you would want to know your full chart. And this is why I talk about all the time, really learning your astrology. And as we move into Libra season, I will have some courses coming up to help us with that. The signs that are going to really want to be the most mindful of this are going to be the mutable signs. So it's Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. Those are the signs that can go either way. So they're either going to really go for this and make it impactful and change, or they're going to be like, oh, that's too hard. Oh, I can't do it. I've been working, and they're going to give up. These are the signs that literally have the most potential to benefit from this and really see a plan come to fruition long term and really have some great fruit from their labor. The signs
is this a good time for them to start a business or to do something in that area or arena? Or?
Yes, but this shouldn't be anything that's brand new. Should be something that you've been revamping, that you've probably brought back over the last couple of weeks. You're like, this has come back up for me. Like, this is coming back up again. So it's not like you're starting something brand new. You're just rebranding, revamping, reorganizing, restructuring some things. Now you're ready to move forward in that new way. Even if that means you had to let go of some people, you had to let go of some options or some ways that you did some things, but this isn't the newest thing. Even if it's kind of been in the background for a while, it's not brand new. Does that make sense?
It's not new.
It's not that new. Yeah, no, not yet. Maybe in Aries season, but right now we got some things to work on. And I actually think that whatever it is, it's gonna really, when the change happens, it's gonna really shake us up. It's gonna really get us excited. It's gonna really feel like it's catapulted us forward. But if we don't implement the plan and stick with it, it's going to feel like it just chaos. It just shook us up like, damn it, I missed my opportunity. Why wasn't I sticking with it? Man. So I'm telling y'all, we really want to stick with whatever routines and habits and plans that we've been implementing really over, I would say 40 days. Sorry.
Wow.
That's
Hi,
okay.
Tori.
He's 17 now. You got that big bark? He's this big. He's the smallest. My cat is more dangerous than my dog. I promise. Oh, he got somebody else started.
Oh, wow.
Oopsie. Yeah. Now I do think the signs that'll probably have the hardest time with this are going to be the fixed signs. So that's Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, just because this requires some change. And those are the signs to least likely to want to make change. They're the signs that actually feel like, no, I know what I'm doing. No, I got this. Well, no, there's something that you actually have to let go of, some kind of change or revamp that you have to implement. Those are going to be the signs that have the hardest time dealing with it. But also we'll see, if you can make those changes, fixed signs, you'll really see, fruition, some really good things coming. And the good things are going to happen between Libra season, which really isn't until it starts on the 23rd, until Aries season, which is March 20th, until spring. So
that's about a 6-month period.
Now we're going from fall to spring.
Okay. Right,
and this one's going to be really good, though. I think it has the potential to be really, really good.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And we'll see how my Scorpio season predictions come about, because you guys know some of the predictions I've made for Scorpio season.
Yes, ma'am. Looking forward to that.
Birthday's coming. Yeah.
Yep. And Joe just had a birthday, so it'll be interesting. And a lot of talk, Ms. Astrology, that he may not. I don't wish anything upon him, but in a negative way. But there's a lot of talk that even though he has said and announced he's running for president, that he may not do it.
He can't. Like, he literally cannot.
He cannot.
You mean physically?
I don't think physically he can. I actually don't think, astrologically speaking, I don't think he's going to finish this term at all.
This term.
Term. It is. I'm not even going into next term. I don't think he's going to finish this one.
What about, have you looked at the charts of the people that are running on the other side?
No, I haven't, because I'm fixed on Kamala's chart. It really shows her coming up. It really does. She's a Libra with an Aquarius moon, and the North Node is in Libra right now. I'm sorry, the South Node is in Libra right now. So this is really about Libra, like, no longer being politically correct. I think we're going to see her more like with her voice. I think she's kind of been practicing. She's kind of been getting ready back there.
Well, did you see her at the big party at her house?
I put it in my stories. Are you kidding me? Yes, I saw it. Yes, and look, Yolanda's like, I don't like that. Stop it.
No, I mean,
time.
Well, no, I just don't know what the fact that she can start a party.
Confident. For me, it feels like she's a little more comfortable. She's a little more confident. We haven't seen her. We definitely haven't seen her out having a good time like that. And just kind of
and let me say, we don't see her in bright clothes that much anymore.
And we don't see
ever. She wears a lot of grays, a lot of brown, and black. Yeah. And she was colorful.
I think we've read too much into that. It was a party.
We've been to a party at her house.
It was a Christmas party. We weren't dressed like that either.
Was she having fun at the Christmas party? Or was she being politically?
She was, it was one of those where
I don't know.
You stand next to her, you get your
when we saw her, she was we were in the picture line. So she may have been having fun.
We didn't see her walk around with a martini saying, cheers, everyone. We didn't.
Right. And dancing, doing all the.
Right.
But that wasn't the scene.
Dougie Fresh.
That wasn't the scene. It was a formal party. We had on our formal. We weren't like that either. To be fair.
Okay.
I was just making
I'm
note
just
of.
saying.
I was really glad to see her wearing something colorful, and really there was a lightness of spirit. Uh,
So what happens, Sybil, what frustrates me, and maybe because I get the briefs, just because we don't see them, that don't mean they're
doesn't
not
mean it
doing
doesn't happen.
anything.
Right,
And so
right.
Miss Astrology, what you felt maybe from me is we keep hearing we don't see her, or she's not doing anything. That frustrates me because just because we don't see her and
I
we
never said she wasn't doing anything. I said we haven't. I never
No,
said that because
no,
I believe that
she
she
said it
knows
about me.
that
no, no,
is
no.
part of the right. That's
That's
part of
part
the
of the
dialogue.
truth.
I do
Right.
agree.
We don't see her. So therefore,
It
she's not
doesn't
doing
happen.
anything.
Right,
Right.
And so I'm frustrated with that because, again, as you know, I'm frustrated that we have to put everything out that we're doing.
right.
And that's not how real life works. Our real lives work outside of the camera of what we post.
That's
Yeah, but
true.
her real life is more on a platform as like a public figure, so we would see more of her life than. And I'm not saying she's not doing anything, but I'm saying
I get her briefs. I get what she's doing. She's doing a lot.
But the
oh,
other
I believe
side
that
of
she
it
is.
is that the president is able to, go to the beach and, be out there, take his t-shirt off and get some sun and stuff. I think that her career, her lifestyle is predicated upon the fact or the decision that she's made to not be as open and as free and as carefree as people would like to, or be as open to people knowing that much about her life.
Like
And I'm
somebody
not
else
mad
would
at
know.
it. I'm not mad at that. I'm Sybil Wilkes. I'm not. I perfectly understand that. I
Yeah,
get
Miss
it.
Astrology, we have to fight Sybil to do anything
Not
publicly.
anything.
Okay, not anything, but a lot of things.
Some things.
Because it's just not her nature to put her life on display.
Right.
It's just not. And that meth lab, I got to get back to. So you guys, let's get through this so I can get to my real off screen life. Um, so
Oh, so but hold on. Somebody made a comment that I agree with. This is it.
B. Lee on YouTube, the media only highlights Kamala Harris when she makes a gaffe. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's absolutely true. And they look for every opportunity they can, the mainstream media.
And even with her doing this event, the 50 hip hops, that wasn't a positive in mainstream
For
media.
them, yeah,
That
yeah.
wasn't a positive that she was able to go out and celebrate, and the fact that she was dancing to Too Shorts. That was a problem for some.
Right. Right. And we the people that were there were not kind, or maybe it was the people who were just watching, saying she looked like a mom doing the dances and stuff. Well, she
Right.
is a mom, and
Right.
but
Right.
this is the music of her life. But whatever. I'm very happy that
So
I'm very
anyway, I
lucky.
just need for us to stop saying we don't see her, because that part somebody else put that buys into the narratives that the Republicans are spewing, that
Right.
she's hiding something and what have
Right.
you. So we
Right.
shouldn't perpetuate that. That's my only thing.
No,
or
I get it.
or get a better understanding of what the vice president's role is. We don't really see any of them
That's
like
true
that.
too. That's true
Well,
too.
So
Nancy Pelosi said this week, the vice president don't really do nothing.
they they support the president, and a lot of times that means
I
sitting
know, but
down
she
at the
shouldn't have
desk.
said that. That
No,
was
but she's right, because in the old traditional way of doing things, the vice president was the one. I mean, it was a joke, but it was true. The vice president was the one that would go to the funerals of the states, the head of states. That was their official duty. And then people like definitely Biden, as a vice president. There were also
Dick
people like
Cheney.
uh, he was more in the traditional way of being seen. His back door game was pretty tough. with Bush and telling him what he needed to do and kind of scripting things out for him. But Al Gore was a new school kind of vice president. The first original of George Bush, he was in that old school frame, and it was interesting for people to see, to see who his wife was, and not just some older woman that was with him once he became president. All kinds of changes. You see this, but now, as a result of Biden, he really kind of opened it up and became more involved. And that's what he's tried to do with this vice president. And I'm hoping that people will appreciate the change in roles, and that we will give her the benefit of time, as well the benefit of support for her and what she is endeavoring to do.
Yeah.
Did
Because
they
we're
say
not
the same
easy.
thing about Trump's VP
Pence.
Pence?
Mike Pence.
I don't remember.
Mike Pence, well, they were trying to figure out how this marriage was going to work between them, because Mike Pence is, as you see now, is so old school Republican and so by the book, and they were trying to figure out somebody who hates the Constitution the way they allege that Donald Trump does, and Mike Pence is such a strict constitutionalist. How does this, and we saw how it just all fell apart. And he
Mhm.
was calling for the destruction, according to the stories. He was calling for the destruction of Mike Pence with the hang Mike Pence.
Mm.
Um, and when you come into something like that, you kind of hope that you can be the one to make the difference. You can be the one to make the difference and be the person to make this Trump administration, make America great again and all of that stuff. And it just didn't work, obviously. But they're fighting it out now. And I've gone too much in political history. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Getting away from my personal life. So Ms. Astrology, let's get one final word from you on this new moon.
I think can I address a comment though really quickly?
Of course, of
She
course.
says, please
Do
stop.
it in the next segment. Do
We're
it in the
Okay,
next
resorting to
okay, okay.
oh,
Hang on one second.
okay.
Then we will move on into what's trending, and we got a lot of stuff going on there. So go ahead with your comment, Ms. Astrology.
There was a comment that says, please stop. We're resorting to astrology to pick our next president. I'm not resorting to
That's not,
astrology to pick
yeah.
our next president. However, if we do research on cycles, there's a cycle that a president dies in office. And it didn't happen with Ronald Reagan, but he did get shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his wife was a huge astrology buff.
Astrology, yeah, yeah.
Huge. He kept an astrologer on staff full time. And it didn't happen with W, but Cheney did get shot in office. So there's like these cycles that are still happening. And so it's about cycles. And I'm just observing the cycles, you guys. And it's science. You have to observe, you have to make a prediction or an observation, and then you get your results and you're able to say what your conclusion was. So I just want to say that I'm not necessarily saying it's going to pick our next president. I'm just saying something's going to happen in the presidency. That's all I'm saying.
Right,
It's based on
right.
cycles.
And
And as
that's
far
good.
as like my last little note for what would I say for this new moon,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that whatever these new ideas that we want to implement, do it. We already know what to do. Nobody has to, it's not anything new. It's not this bright idea that came out of nowhere. You already know what to do. It just don't give up as easy. The answers are not going to come as easy as you think. The results aren't going to come as easy as you think, but they are going to come. This is kind of like where only the strong survive. The ones that stick with it are going to be able to see like a really big change that is going to be shocking and sudden, but it has the potential to be extremely impactful and for a lot of people to come, not just you. So stick with it, you guys. We have to stick with it. We can't give up as easily as we normally would in Virgo season.
All right, all right. Let's get tough and toughen up for Virgo season. And somebody who's going to need all of that toughness is Hunter Biden. He's finally number one. He is the first son of a U.S. president to be indicted on federal charges today. Um, and it has to do with, they have alleged and charged that he lied when he was buying a gun. One of the questions I guess they ask you when you're purchasing a gun is, are you using drugs and he was in the midst of being a drug addict, according to reports. And so he lied and said no, and that no has now brought him before another judge, or will bring him in these indictments for the on federal charges regarding the ownership of a gun. And yes,
I have a question, and it's a sincere question.
of
So,
course.
how do we, the fact that he was a drug addict or an alcoholic, how do we know that he was in that state when he bought the, how can they prove that he was a drug? So they say once an addict, always an addict.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I'm an alcoholic, I can never buy a gun,
Well,
alcohol anymore.
that's a part of what they have to prove. That's a part of their case. They have to
But if
prove.
there's an indictment, then there has to be some proof.
Well, they may have it, but that's when they go to court, they will have to prove that he
I just thought that was
knowingly and willingly lied when applying for this gun.
Because maybe that day he was sober.
Yeah.
No, Yolanda has a lot of air in her chart. She's gonna always bring the other side of the argument.
Maybe.
Nobody else thought that.
I'm looking at his astrology. It doesn't look good. I think he's actually going to get in a little bit of trouble for this. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, he was this close to getting off, and then the judge said this doesn't look right, and
they must have something else.
Yeah,
because if they indict him, they have to
have proof.
I would
right?
think they would have something else.
So he must have already had a diagnosis.
But even if he had a diagnosis, what if you have a diagnosis, you can be in recovery, right?
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
One would think, yeah, for sure. But the point is with him is that unlike what the Republicans are doing in the House right now, they are coming up with allegations. They're alleging in these federal indictments handed down today by the U.S. Attorney. That is usually based upon, and just like the district attorney in Georgia, you have to have some real facts before you can, and that you present to a grand jury before the indictment comes down, and then you take them to court. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think there's a good point on here. Somebody says, "Who cares what Hunter Biden is doing? This is a waste of time and resources." What is the point? Honestly, honestly, like what is the point of bringing these charges? Did he get the gun? Did he commit a crime with the gun?
Right.
What happened?
He did not, but they are every little thing that he does. They are going over with a finer than fine-tooth comb in order to find something and to tack it onto him. And if they can tack something on him, then they're going to use that to go after his.
But I'm with you, Miss Astrology. Did he do something?
What happened? Right? Why he just protecting his home? Well, I mean, maybe people were after him. I don't know. But yeah, Arthuretta Wilson said, though, I pray this doesn't take President Biden out physically. He's already been through so much. And if we add extra stress, I mean, how much more can an 80-something-year-old man handle?
Right.
But
and physically as well as physically. Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to remove him because he is the only person, according to the polls, whatever that means, he is the only person who can beat the guy who is leading in their polls, who is likely to be their candidate.
Yeah, but he seems resilient. Biden seems resilient. I have a girlfriend.
No, I'm not talking about how strong he is. I'm talking about
no. That's what Miss Arnetta was saying. I was just responding to that. That hope it don't take him out physically.
Okay.
Yeah, he just seems very, very resilient and understands the cyclical process of the universe and how he knows that things come and go. That doesn't mean that he doesn't feel what he feels, but he seems. I have a girlfriend that lost a child and had an opportunity to meet him at an event. And she said that when she looked in his eyes, just the empathy and the sympathy, because he's experienced, that he had for her, that it wasn't about what he experienced. It was all for her. She said it really took her aback.
Yeah.
That he has the ability to see, and feel other things outside of what he's seeing and feeling. So
Right.
hopefully he sees that this country needs his leadership, and that gives him strength.
I think so. I think so. I think it's the impetus that he might need to get up out of bed every day. It's like, oh,
Right.
not again with these
Right.
guys. And then, I have a greater purpose, to do
Right.
this.
Right.
So we'll see.
Right.
I was going to say something about Hunter Biden, and I forgot what it was. But, and you're right, Arthuretta, and those, who cares? But I do think that
Somebody cares.
it's an effort
Right.
to kind of chip away at the Biden power,
And guess
legacy,
what?
whatever, the
We're
presidency.
talking about it.
Yeah.
And so the more you put
And
that in,
if we didn't, people would say, well, why aren't you talking about Hunter Biden? And if we do talk about it, we don't need to talk. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But it is the news. And,
all right,
and
no, that's not
the
what I'm
news.
saying. What I'm saying
No,
is,
I'm saying that. I'm saying that.
Same thing, and it goes in people's psyche, then they start to believe it. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Okay. Are you all in favor of the self-serve soda machines in McDonald's and other restaurants?
Should we not be?
No, I'm asking. No. It's not a trick question.
I'm with you. That sounds like a trick question. I'm like,
I feel like I should be bringing my own drinks now.
That's funny. No.
I have not been in a McDonald's in years. Just the smell of McDonald's, I can't even go in there.
Okay,
But
well, Yolanda, scratch off the McDonald's sponsorship while
oh.
you are silly. You're a really silly girl. How about Chipotle? You be there.
Okay, well, so I'm in Houston. So yeah, I don't know if in Houston we used to have Marvin Zindler who would talk about slime in the ice machine of these self-serve drink machine places. So after that, you just kind of did, and now he's not alive anymore. So who's reporting about the slime in the ice machine? So I don't know.
We don't know about it. So
yeah, but I have to be honest. I probably would still drink it. Not if I knew it had slime, but if I go to Chipotle.
That is so funny. Well, McDonald's is thinking about doing away with the self-service soda machines. And it has nothing to do with the ice. It has nothing to do with, whatever has to for consumers or whatever. It has to do with the fact that they're probably losing some money. Because people will go and they'll get their soda, and then before you leave, you go, usually.
Because here's the deal: if you buy a soda that is a small that is $2.37, or a large that is $4.53, you can buy that small, and then you can go back and get the refill.
I mean, and it's so overpriced. How much money are there? Can't be losing money.
So let me ask you this: they don't just charge $1 for the soda?
Not anymore. They went back.
I think McDonald's has $1 drink though, or something like that. I think
they went
but
back.
Anywhere else you go, it's $3 for a small or medium. Yeah, they can't be losing that much money.
Crazy.
Well, times are hard and people aren't buying, or, with inflation and things, people aren't coming out and doing the large meals and things like that. So they are thinking, they say it's to create consistency among the crew members across the McDonald's offerings. But from in-person dining to online delivery and drive-through options, they say they want to make it consistent because of the uptick in the number of DoorDash and what have you, deliveries, food delivery people. They didn't specifically specify if it's finances, but that seems to be the one thing that people are pointing to is like, going and getting that extra soda before you leave, or sanitation. As you said, Ms. Astrology,
Right.
maybe, just people in their nasty, grimy hands and pushing up against, and so they're not going to just take
I would love for that to be the reason. But we know with corporations, it's generally profits.
Right.
Or the actual reason. So.
Right.
And people will go and they won't go to the cashier and say, I just got another soda. Here's my $5.
No, refills are
So that's the $5 that they're losing.
Right.
Yep. They say that a handful of McDonald's locations across the country also are starting the transition, and they hope that they'll have it in place by 2030. Have everybody back behind the counter, and you.
2030?
Mhm.
That's 7 years. Hopefully, we'll all be done drinking soda and eating McDonald's. Sorry, sponsorship.
Why does that take so long?
Yeah, why would it take 7 years? Just snatch them out.
I think that they're trying to kind of gauge the response and see how people feel. Like, hey, what happened to the self-serve? I'm never coming back to McDonald's anymore until you give me back my self-serve soda. I don't know.
Ask for a cup of water and head to the soda machine.
Right. I still think that it costs $1. What do I know?
Look, Adrian, you're the reason that they're taking them out. She's talking about ask for a cup of water and head to the soda machine.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You, Adrian.
Adrian, it's all your fault.
Funny.
That's funny.
That is great. I don't know why. I don't know why it's taking so long to do it. Just go take them, put them in the back of the house, and just be done with it. I don't know. So that is those are just a couple of things that are trending. I wanted to talk about those of us who are middle class and what that means. We'll talk about that next week when we get back. And so now let us move to a crazy entertainment story. And if it is crazy, then it involves Kanye West. Kanye is in hot water if a lawsuit against him proceeds. He was sued by his project manager at his home in California. It appears that he hired this guy to be his project manager, overseeing the remodel of his Malibu home. But he engaged him and wanted him to spend so much time and to do all of this work and to be there to oversee all of the work. The guy couldn't even go home, so he ended up sleeping at the job site, which is Kanye's home. And but Kanye never provided any sleep stuff for him. No, they didn't have a mattress, they didn't have a sleeping bag, none of that. Oh, he had to have a coat to cover himself up with. It never dawned on him to go get something.
Go home.
And next time you come back, if you gotta stay, you got your stuff. Anyway, he said Kanye fired him over a disagreement because Kanye wanted him to remove all of the windows from this house. You can imagine in Malibu, you got a lot of windows to see the beautiful ocean, right? A lot. He wanted to remove all the windows and the electricity. According to the lawsuit, the man sued him over the various labor code violations, and he's going after Kanye for unpaid wages plus damages, and the fact that he kept changing what he wanted. And the final straw was closing off the entire building, no windows, and pulling out all electricity, which is a violation, could be a health code violation. Working 16-hour days, sleeping on the floor, coordinating his remodel, and that he had to use a coat as bedding. So he's.
I feel like me and Yolanda are the same on this. Like, I don't. Oh, and I'll say this.
I'm no Kanye apologist, but this looks like a pretty ridiculous case.
This, like, when do we start taking self responsibility that I need to take myself home and sleep on my own bed and bathe? And like, when do we start saying I needed to say no? I'm grown. Right. I tell Kanye no. I'm leaving. I get in my car and go home. Like, when did I don't understand?
Miss Astrology, part of the intake form when you work for Yossi Media is if you don't like it, go somewhere else.
Okay. Like, bye.
I never had to sign that intake form. I guess I'm glad.
What?
Is also, let's also try to guess what this young man's age is. He claims that Kanye raised his voice and insisted on moving large generators inside the house.
He's under 30.
Yeah. He's under 30.
Yeah. He's under 30.
He yelled at him.
They can't handle
it.
Yeah. They can't handle it. Bless their hearts.
Yeah. And he said that he considered him an enemy if he didn't go along with his demands.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And Kanye said, "Get the hell out." Now that's an old black man from the South
Right.
Side.
There
That's
it
an
is.
old black man from the
There
South
it
Side.
is.
You don't like it? Get the hell out.
Bye.
Get the skipping.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. All right. So let's move to the jewel for the day. We've been told determination will get you a long way in life. Believe it.
So Sybil,
Hopefully now.
I didn't check the newsletter yesterday, and
Mhm.
that's the wrong one. And and what I thought about it, because I actually sent the jewel to somebody today. But with Miss Astrology's word for us right now is to don't give up.
Right.
This week is actually don't give
Don't
up.
give up. That's what I thought.
And for whatever reason, it's
It's the universe. Like to be in alignment.
That's right. That's right. Because when you said it earlier, I was like, okay, I'm in there.
There's no coincidences and not very many mistakes.
Yep. And so the Yogi's Jewels for today, Thursday, is actually don't give up. Don't give up on your peace. Right. Because there is a peace that surpasses all your understanding that you can have. So don't give up.
Yes.
I think I did that for the audio part that you don't listen to. So yeah.
I'm with you, Yolanda. I'm a reader. I'm a speed reader though. So I'm just like, I don't want to listen. I gotta listen to it. I'm a double time. Like
Miss Astrology, how can people follow you? How can they keep up with you?
I'm Miss Astrology on Instagram, but my website is cosmicallylit.com. You can watch my videos, sign up for the newsletter. I send newsletters as well, just to keep you guys posted on what's going on. And listen, I can't help it, you guys. Somebody said Miss Astrology said Megan Thee Stallion was going to come back with more clothes on.
Girl, if you don't stop it, who cares what she's saying?
No, because then people are like, she don't know what she's talking. I never said that. I said she was going to take a break, and when she comes back, she was going to be different, and she was going to have more peace, and she does, and she's absolutely beautiful. Doesn't she look so good, you guys?
Yeah, but what was that with Justin Timberlake the other night? Was that a stage?
No, okay, so I watched that, and I'm a huge Justin Timberlake fan as well. And they said what she was saying to Justin is like, no, we're not meeting like this. We have to meet officially. Like she was getting prepped to go somewhere, and he was like, hey, and she was like, this is not how we're meeting.
And another thing, we don't like the way you treated Janet. That's what I read.
Janet was all for that until she got in trouble. I love Janet.
Miss Astrology, it's always so much fun with you. Thank you so much. And I hope that you'll come back soon with your daughter. I think I would love to see that.
Yes, that would be really good to talk about some of that, especially maybe get some more teenage audience kind of listening, paying attention. The young people are our future.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
And to let us close, we know that the HBCU Fall Classic football season is underway. The big game taking place this weekend, and that is the HBCU NY Classic in New York City. Take a look at this.
Fun.
Get ready for an epic showdown on September 16th as Morehouse and Albany State take the field for the Toyota HBCU NY Classic at MetLife Stadium.
Football season is back, and this is the game you can't miss.
Join us for the world's largest HBCU homecoming to experience the thrill of HBCU culture like never before.
Enjoy the ultimate celebration with a pregame tailgate, battle of the bands, and an iconic halftime show.
Don't wait. Get your tickets now at HBCUNYClassic.com.